Hey guys, we're going to start in a standing position today. Actually, a standing position is a little easier in the body because it's easier to get a good alignment in the lower back and not lose the lumbar curve, where in a seated position, you tend to roll the back and you lose that lumbar curve. So when we go to the seated position, we're going to start up and then go down. Get something to sit on so that you can have, I have a blanket, but you can get pillows or whatever, a yoga block, so that you can sit up higher and find that curve in the lower back. All right, let's get started. So the feet are a little bit wider than hip distance apart. I want you to stay lifted, but we're just gonna go from side to side. Inhaling up, exhaling over, slight bend in the knee. So I don't want you to be rigid. I want there to be a softness in the movement. Inhaling up and exhaling over. Try not to let yourself turn too much. I don't want you to get too particular because I don't want this to be a very rigid class. We can do classes like that where we get super into the alignment. Inhaling up and exhaling over. And then staying over to the left side, bring the right arm up and over the ear. You can have your hand on your hip or just leave it hanging down the leg. Try not to let the pelvis come forward. So you want to get the butt back a little bit and then fold over, pushing down through both legs. Imagine you're going up and over a big beach ball instead of crunching in that left side. I'm shadowing you, by the way. Deep breaths. Pushing through that right leg, breathing into the whole right side of the body. Face is relaxed. Nice, soft, gentle breath. Inhaling, coming up, and then over to the other side. Hand on the hip, or let your arm come down the leg. Left arm comes over. Nice, deep breath, pushing through the legs. Face is relaxed. Jaw is relaxed. Sitting bones are back, so you're not overly tucking the tailbone and throwing the hips forward. Sitting bones root. And then inhaling, slowly coming up, making a soft fist of the hands. And you're just gonna go from side to side, twist. Inhaling and exhaling, letting your foot come up and turn with the twist so that you get no tweak of the knee. And start to slow it down. Bending the knees, putting your hands on top of the knees. We're going to do cat-cows in a standing position. Inhaling, bring the chest forward, sitting bones back. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, spine towards the sky. Inhaling, chest forward, sitting bones back. Cow position, exhaling cat. Inhaling forward, exhaling in. Try to find, again, a nice smooth movement, smooth breath. And then root down through your legs, slowly come up. Feet are now hip distance apart. You're gonna lift one heel up. And as you bring that heel down, you're gonna slowly bring the other heel up. So as if you were moonwalking up and down, getting some little bit, I don't know if you heard that crack in my foot. Mobility in the feet, also getting a little calf strength, just gentle movements. And for some, this will be a little bit of a balance thing as well. Let the breath Flow with the movement. And then come to center, stepping your feet out, slightly turn the toes out. Then we're just gonna move from side to side, bringing the opposite. So I'm bending my left knee, I'm gonna bring my right arm across, and then go to the other side, left arm, almost like a speed skater, nice and slowly, back and forth, bending the knee that you're going towards, and straightening the other leg, back and forth. Nice, smooth, slow movements. Also, you can imagine you're gathering something up and bringing it in, gathering something up, bringing it in. And then face towards the left. So you gather in and really reach that arm. So this is a little bit more static, well, a lot of bit more static. Put your forearm on your leg and reach. Push through the outside of the right foot. Don't worry, this isn't a warrior two position. It's not a horse stance, it's its own thing. And then slowly move to the other side, reaching the left arm out, resting your right forearm on the thigh. Nice deep breath here. I can be very alignment oriented, but today we're not doing as much alignment. So don't get too fixated on what position the feet should be in. Slowly come back to center, inhaling up. You can turn your feet out a little bit more for horse stance. You're going to lift, or also called goddess. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, hands in prayer. Inhaling, straightening the legs. Exhaling, bending the knees, hands in prayer. Inhaling up. Exhaling, bending the knees, hands in prayer. Inhaling up. Exhaling, bending the knees, hands in prayer. Pause and breathe. Try to get as much of a right angle with your legs as you can. Obviously, you're just going to do your best. It's an intense pose. Like you said, gentle yoga, and then you put horse stance in. Deep breaths. Focusing your eyes on one place. And then inhale, slowly coming up, turning your feet so that they're parallel towards each other. You can turn the toes in just a little bit. So a little bit pigeon-toed. And then just circle the hips around. Side, I'm putting a slight bend in my knees to give me a little bit more movement. Side, forward, side, back. Moving with the breath. And then reverse directions. Trying to get most of the movement in the hips. Inhaling, coming to center. Exhale, turn your feet out again for horse stance. Hands come to the inside of the legs, so you can see that my fingertips are facing you. Take an inhale, and exhale, turn towards the right. So I'm going to let that shoulder protract a little bit, and then the left shoulder is protracting, and the right shoulder is retracting. Breathe there for just a moment, feeling that pattern, that basic alignment, and then move to the other side. Keep rooting through the legs. Right shoulder's protracting, I'm shadowing you, left shoulder's back, and now you're just going to move back and forth for just a moment, moving with the breath. Turning in, there's a twist here, pushing your hand onto that thigh, so now you get an inner thigh stretch, twist, shoulder mobility, moving slowly. Facing towards the right. Breathe here for a moment, turning the rib cage up. Push your hand against that leg, get that thigh stretch. Slight twist, right ribs go up towards the sky. And then over the other direction. come to center, push down through the legs, toe heel your feet together, and walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, slowly coming into a forward bend. And then inhale, slowly come back up, engage your abs as you come up. Exhale, hands in prayer, bending forward, slowly coming down. Inhale, pushing through the legs, keeping the abs strong, lifting up, and then exhale forward. Inhaling up, reach up, and then exhaling, bowing forward. Pause and breathe, holding it here. Knees are bent. Relax the head. Slow breath, enjoying this forward bend. And then stepping back so that you're on your hands and knees. Inhaling into a cow position, sitting bones back, chest forward. Exhaling into a cat. Inhaling into a cow. Exhaling into a cat. Inhaling into a cow. Keeping the toes curled under. Exhaling into a kind of a child's pose, but just getting a stretch in the toes. Breathing back into those feet. Full breath. Stretching those feet out. Inhale, slowly coming back up into a cow position. And then if you can, you'll come into downward dog. If that's too much, just bring your hands forward, sitting bones back, puppy pose, head in line with the arms. Otherwise, downward dog, pause and breathe here. If your hamstrings are tight and it rolls you, like in a cat position, bend the knees, lift the sitting bones up. Otherwise, straighten the legs, bring the thigh bones back, breathing into those hamstrings. Nice slow breath. Feet are parallel. I like to have my feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart in downward dog. Take an inhale, slowly come up into a high push-up position for just a moment, and exhale, bring the knees down to the floor. Inhale, bringing the right foot forward for a lunge. Pause here, breathe. We're down through the legs. We always want to get settled into the legs and hug them in. Inhale, left arm comes up, and then bring the left hand to the outside of the right foot. Right hand can be on the hip or to the outside of the left hip. So either it's on the right hip or the left hip, giving yourself a little more shoulder stretch. Breathe here, lengthening on the inhale and on the exhale, turning. Always trying to get lift in the spine. Inhaling, coming to center. Hands come on either side of the front foot. You can put blocks underneath your hands to give yourself a little bit more length. Pause and breathe, and then inhale, straighten the leg a little bit, and exhale, bend the knee back into a lunge. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee back into a lunge. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Spread the toes. Again, if you need blocks, that will help. So, like if you find that you're just like really struggling in this, blocks are great. And also, it's okay to bend the knee. Just hug the heel into the mat and draw it towards you. And I promise you'll feel your hamstrings and your calf. Breathe there. Slow inhale and complete exhale. Notice if your jaw is trying to help you do the pose, you can release that. Take another inhale, and then exhale, coming into a tabletop for just a moment. Look at your hands, see that your fingers are spread apart nice and evenly, and the wrist is in line with the front of the mat. Inhaling into a cow position. Exhaling either into puppy pose or downward dog. Pause and breathe. Knees can be bent in downward dog. Sitting bones lift. Push through the hands and draw the fingertips gently into the mat. Slow the breath down, calming the nervous system down. Inhaling, coming into a high push-up position for just a moment. Exhale, knees come down to the floor. Inhale, left leg comes up into a lunge. Put something underneath your knee if it's bothering you. I should have said that earlier. If it was bothering you, hopefully you did that. Inhale, bring your right arm up. Left hand can be on the hip or it can come behind the back. Exhale, bring the right hand to the outside of the left leg. Inhale, rising, and exhale, turning. Slow breath. Inhaling, coming to center. Exhale, bring the hands on either side of the foot. Inhale, straighten the leg as much as you can. I have to scoot my foot up a little bit. And exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten, moving nice and slowly with the breath. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten, holding Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Pause and breathe, spread the toes. The knee can be bent, that's fine. Blocks under the hands is great. Push the heel into the floor and draw it towards you. Breathe into some of that intensity. We're not going super intense today, but there's always going to be some intensity when you move the body. And how can you turn that intensity into gentleness? Take an inhale, step that knee back, exhale, root it down. Inhale, coming up, we're going to just go into a camel position. Arms come out to the sides, shoulder blades on the back, and just a nice gentle camel. Pushing through the knees, lifting up, breathing into the chest. So we're not going to actually go back and touch our feet today. Nice deep inhale, complete exhale. I'm going to turn myself around. You'll see why. Deep breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bring your right foot out to the side for gate pose. Pause, breathe. My heel is kind of in alignment. Like if I drew a line, it would be right behind the left knee. I can't help myself with alignment. Right forearm comes on to the leg. Inhale, left arm comes up, side bend, pause, breathe. And gently turn your right ribs up towards the sky. So they tend to just stay curled down, and you're going to turn them up with the left. Breathe into that side body. So there's a little bit of a twist in here. Slow inhale and complete exhale. Inhale, slowly coming up. Bring your knee down. Camel pose again. Arms out to the side. How wonderful is life? Lift the shoulder blades in the back. Breathe. Rooting down through the legs to rise up. Feel the shoulder blades in the back to give you a lift. Inhale, come up. Step the left foot out to the side for gate pose. Left forearm on the leg. Pause, breathe, get rooted into the legs, and bring the right arm over the ear. Pushing down through the left arm, start to turn the left ribs in the direction of the right ribs. Pause, breathe. Breathe into the whole right side of the body. Slow breath. Inhale, slowly coming up. And grabbing a blanket to sit on so that you can get that lift in the lower back. I've been doing yoga a long time and I still grab a blanket so I can get that lift. I had lower back problems and it was from not having the curve in the lower back. Pausing here for just a moment. And slowly bring the left hand out to the side. Right hand down onto the hip. Left ear comes down towards the shoulder. So you're getting a little side bend. You're also getting a hip rooting and a neck stretch. So I want you to relax your neck so you feel that stretch in the neck. Nice deep breath. Left shoulder down the back. Breathe into the side body, the hip, the neck, wherever you're feeling that tightness. Bring a nice gentle breath and energy in to release it. You might have to tuck your chin in a little bit to find your stretch in your neck. And then inhale, slowly coming up. And exhale, switching to the other side. Right hand straight out from the hip. Left hand roots the hip down towards the floor. Turn the rib cage open. Relax the ear down towards the shoulder. Notice how even just kind of a simple stretch like this can bring in some intensity. And you use the breath to gently move out that intensity. You might tuck the chin down a little bit, finding the nice stretch in the neck. Let the teeth separate. And then inhale, slowly coming up. Taking your right hand to your left knee. Left hand comes behind you for a spinal twist. If that's too intense, just bring your hand to the other knee. Reach from your left hip out through your left knee. On the inhale, lift, and on the exhale, gently twist. Try not to just tug yourself, moving more energetically and with the breath. Finding space in the vertebrae. To always decompress the spine before you twist. Inhaling, coming to center, and exhaling over the other side. Reach your right hip into the floor and then reach it towards the knee so that the hips stay facing forward. Inhale, rise, find space in this between the vertebrae, and exhale, turn. Using the breath to gently create the movement. And on the inhale, come to center. Try not to let yourself collapse. So you keep that lift. Pause, feel for a moment. And then release the blanket and come lying on your back. Taking your arms out to the side, lift your hips up like you're coming into bridge pose for just a moment. Swing your hips to the left and then let them come down to the floor. Lift your knees up. So you're kind of skewed a little bit, but you'll straighten out in a moment. And bring your legs to the right. Remember, I'm shadowing you. Nice deep breath, lengthen the rib cage away from the hips, and breathe into this lovely spinal twist. Slow breaths. Inhale, legs come back up. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift up as if you're lifting up to a bridge pose, and technically you are. And then swing your hips over to the right, bring them down to the floor. Inhale, legs come up and swing them to the left for a nice spinal twist. Lengthen the rib cage away from your hips. Nice deep breath. Breathing into this nice spinal twist. I love spinal twists. Slow breaths in and out. I don't know if you can hear my kids. They just came home from mountain biking. I try to keep it real here. And then inhale. Slowly come up. By the way, this is my second attempt at the video because Milo went crazy on a squirrel. He was in here. I had to take him out because he's going crazy with squirrels. Inhale, bring the legs up. Bring your feet together and let your knees go wide so that you're in Baddha Konasana on your back. Slow breath there. You can put your hands on top of on your belly and let your belly inflate on the inhale and deflate on the exhale. And then you can release your legs coming into Shavasana, palms face up. If you have any lower back issues, just take your rolled up blanket and put them underneath your knees or a pillow. And you can stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Letting yourself completely relax. Relaxing the whole body into the ground. Slow breath. Have an amazing day or have a wonderful sleep. Namaste.